Alright, so let's go and jump into this. Like I said, I'm really excited because this one's been on my list for a while. Shoutouts to Keymailer for hooking us up with the review key for this game. I was ecstatic when I saw the inbox email come through. And I'll be curious to see how much I remember or I recognize from the demo, and then how much is like brand spanking ass new. And sure enough, chapter select. 8 chapters. Simulation play. I'm not sure what simulation play means. Let's just start. Let's jump on in. The Alias. I saw you were streaming this game probably about a month or two ago. And I was like, Alias would enjoy this game. I was like, that makes a lot of sense he'd be playing this. They have got some great stuff lately, absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of their stuff I don't usually qualify for, but every once in a while they'll surprise me. Yeah, I remember the protagonist being this kind of implied robot, sort of. It's kind of husk. Try to jump out of bounds, yeah. And the sense of scale is already very impressive. So I searched everywhere with a capital E. Proper noun everywhere. We've transcended humanity, that's right. Yeah, some kind of metal lad with glowing eyes and rusted legs. What does it mean? This door with a singular eyeball. The abyss disappeared. Zoom. 253 years. It's a long damn time. Although to a robot, that might be nothing. Making his jumps, look at that. He's platforming like a boss. Just say Lorn instead of Scorn. I never did play Scorn, so I don't know if that's something I can really invoke in earnest. Are we walking on your mom's dildo? If you're asking that, like, do my guy's legs double as dildular implements? Let's just go ahead and assume the answer is yes. Whoa. We're falling. Whoa. How fast we are. We're so fast. Also, really sensitive mouse. Wow, wow, wow. We gotta turn that mouse down just a little bit. Mouse is popping just a bit. Just a bit. No, not the graphics. It's the gameplay. So, aim sensitivity, let's lower it down to 3? Save. And then done. Hardcore parkour. That's right, Alina. Oh, that was the dildo. Gotcha. Gotcha. Then I'll say maybe. I'll say maybe. So, right click. Oh, they're saying mouse. Never mind. They're not saying clicks. They're saying look and jump and move. There's jump. Yep. And there is a ledge grab, which is nice. One is just like the standard. You're probably right. It's still maybe a little bit sensitive, but I'm not hurting too bad. Let me check one last thing real quick. Settings. And there we go. Cool. Now we're good. Yeah, it probably wasn't the delay. It was probably me delayed in reading the comment. Also, I know fall damage is a thing. So if you miss a jump, you don't just land harmlessly. You will fall and plummet and be sad and die. 400 DPI. Yeah, we're like the big swings, like the real wide swings. There's Nitro with the raid. Thank you, Nitro. We're playing a really, really cool little indie game called Lorn's Lure. Really cool climbing parkour game. It's a really good game. We played the demo like 2 years ago. It's very cool. I've been big excited for this game ever since it first happened upon my radar. Whoa! I don't think there's bad guys. I think the only villain is gravity, and you're own lack of ability to pathfind. If you get lost or if you like start barking up the wrong tree, whoop, probably have to jump down somewhere, don't I? I don't have the hooks, unless I can. Yeah, we do have the dash, but I don't think I have the dash actually available yet. Can't quite make it. Is there more back this way? Probably. Actually, hold on. Just so I'm clear, you can just climb back up. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, I should have just done that from the get-go. So that's if you fall down, then. Your only villain is gravity, which is how real life goes. Let's be real. Sometimes that is how it be. Get that little glowy thing. Ooh, that's clearly the path. Do we have the flares? Not yet. Not yet. Thank you, Nitro, for that raid. And as always, if you have any clips you'd like to share, I'm always down. If you have anything you want to share with us, whenever somebody raids, it is always a nice and fun thing to ask. But yeah, that's what Meerkat is describing is something that I think a lot of the professionals use for mouse sensitivity, especially for like competitive first-person shooters. That way you can get like very finely tuned headshots. Get like the finely tuned kind of aiming. Whereas if you're just doing like the standard, oh, barely made that shit. We were probably supposed to jump. Oh yeah, I see where we were supposed to jump. I see, that's what we were supposed to do. That's okay. That's okay. We're going for the speedrun strat, obviously. But yeah, the idea of swinging really hard and then having greater granularity control for landing those pro shots is what the pros all do. The people that made this game are really cool. It sounds like you've gotten to interact with some of the developers for this game, Alias, which is really awesome. I'm envious because it's a very smartly made game. I bet the people that made this are pretty heckin' neat. Am I gonna stick the... Oh, dead. Yep. I'll try again. Boop. I'm like, I don't know. I can't hoist myself up. Like I can make that jump. Can I make that jump safely? Let's find out. Whoop. Okay, so yeah, so we're okay. It does kind of count down how long you can fall before you take a lethal damage. Fracture and Rubeki. The name Rubeki is familiar. I think I might have seen them in your chat at one point. Welcome back, Johnson. I too am drinking water. Although the label on this water bottle would lead you to believe it is an entirely different substance, but I can assure you it's probably water. Probably. I mean, I guess in all fairness, dog piss is probably mostly water. The crystals are the bonus. Oh, maybe I should have gone for that thing then. Can I go back? Ooh, you cannot go back unless you like... Nah, we go forward. We go forward, but good to know. R.I.P. the robot bones. Yep. That's part of how we learn. Speaking of which, purple. You can scan the stuff. I want to learn. Last base camp. Gotta go get it. Idaxa. Come back with Cresuo. Left some food. We don't need food. We're a robot. Unless it's a robot food. Bad things happen when they fall from great heights, including robots. Yeah, we can just relaunch the level later, right, if we wanted to go for all the unlocks. So we can go up that way. We can also, like, explore around a little bit this way. This game does seem to explore, or to reward, you know, looking around and kind of sniffing out extra things sometimes. The crystals are nice and colorful and obvious, which is nice. That's right, yeah, lore in Lorn's lore. You have to really enunciate when you say these things. Oh, I scanned it. Oh, okay. Well, turbines. You can scan lots of... Well, not lots, not everything, but some things you can scan. Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm like, I probably can't, like, physics up this way, can I? Yeah, no. It's not that kind of thing. Alright, now I'm looking for other things to scan. Yeah, it's not just any old thing you can scan. Gotta be specific stuff, like specific mechanisms. And I can not open this door. Cryptographic key. Gonna remembers their password. Not my problem. Safety hut. Built over 500 years ago. That is a long time. Alright, cool. I think we've seen all that there is to see. Continue. We're gonna slide down. We probably will. Or it's just gonna be a lateral tunnel. But I'm expecting to slide at some point. Or we'll descend smartly. That's not flying, it's falling with style. It's climbing with style. I guess descending. And every so often, we'll keep our eyes peeled for the crystals. Yep. Yeah, mostly walking. Yeah, I was thinking at some point it would start to slide us down, just because that first pipe, it like, once it kind of descended, we were sliding down. Yeah, we were sliding down, like, basically to the pit. We had to like make that first jump, that first big jump, to avoid splattering ourselves. I'm not sure if that's survivable. I jump on those things. You know what? Maybe I can jump on these things. Whoa, I'll live, right? No, I did not live. These things are thin enough. Yeah. Up. Yeah. Clunk. How grand everything is. I think it's pretty impressive. And that very first cutscene. This camera pans back and you see how large the pipes are. It's pretty remarkable. It's easy to overlook for sure. Oh my god, you can almost cheese it. You can almost cheese it. Whoop. Oh, there we go. You can just kind of grab that ledge. Which is presumably good. What if we just land on this thing as a treat? Up. There we go. Whoa, up. That was the whole point. Just land on this thing. It's easy to miscalculate what your guy's able to withstand. He's able to withstand more than you might think. But also, he's not invulnerable, so, you know, you gotta be kind. You have to pretend you're smart. Oh. Okay, we're fine. We kind of fell with it, so it's fine. Like looking for things to scan and like little bits of knowledge to snuggle up, to slurp up into our brain. Yeah, you can pull off some wacky shit. I would imagine that's a huge part of like the speedrunning scene for this game, is the goofy antics and sequence breaks that the game probably did not want you to do, but isn't going to discourage you from doing if you can pull it off. Like, by all means, if you can manage it, we're not going to stand in your way. Not the kind of game to prevent you from pulling off some wild antics. For instance, I see you up there, little crystal fella. Descending way too quickly. I mean, let's be real. It's not the fall that sucks. It's the like sudden, very, very sudden and very abrupt stop. That's where they get you. Pops. Crystals pop when you pick them up. It's the fall damage equivalent of, it's not the heat that gets you, it's the humidity. Yeah, that terminal velocity. It is terminal. It is absolutely terminal, and the damage it can do to you. Now we're sliding. That's what I expected earlier. Now this is familiar. This kind of scene right here. I think this is when things really start to open up, and it's probably going to be where we're going to find the well, not ice picks, metal picks, concrete picks. Is it this way? Or is it back that way? Here, I'm gonna poke around a little bit before I commit to any one direction. But just like Alias said, once you kind of get a... Oh, we can zoom. Ooh, we can zoom all right. Once you get a little feel... Ooh, there we go. For like the sense of scale, like just how large and big and open the game is. It's pretty impressive. It's very remarkable. The waypoint hints. Kind of cool. All right, so sure enough then, that is the correct way. But they wouldn't be showing us tooltips if that was not the right way to go. So I'm going to go the wrong way for as long as I can. And the odd chance that I might find something cool. That little floaty fella. He's got wings. Somebody must have gave him a Red Bull. Oh, is this it? Wait, hold on. No. Oh, just as far as we can go. As far as they'll let us go. I mean, they'll stop it eventually, won't they? At this point, it becomes... Okay, yeah, they eventually say, yeah, you're done. You're done, son. What's that base jumping game that I like so much? I think the game is called and then it's like a something disregard for gravity or something, a complete disregard for gravity. It's just the letter A like 12 times, and then it's a complete disregard for gravity, a base jumping game. It's a very cool game, and I never did complete it, but it's a pretty long game. Play this in VR. That would be really fun. It would be a little bit disorienting because your character moves real fast. And I found that any kind of game where the locomotion is fast, it's a little bit jarring, unless you could teleport. But this game is all about platforming, so the teleport would be kind of hard to do right, I think. Probably go up, right? And I have to go up. Be no go down option. That really makes sense. There we go. Would I try it though? I would try it if this had a VR mode. Whoop. I would try it. I'm mildly acrophobic, which is to say vaguely like afraid of heights. So I'd get the palm sweaty, arm spaghetti. I'd get a little bit nervous, but I would at least want to try it. Also, look at this shit. Like, that's clearly the way we want to go. We're supposed to go. But this has incorrect path energy written all over it, and I gotta know. I gotta know what this is about. Is it gonna lead to something cool or absolutely fuck all? It's probably gonna be absolutely fuck all, but there's like pretty lights down there. Pretty lights. Darn, I thought I was cooking. Whoop! Ow! VR would be rough. Yeah, it's I enjoy it. I think it's probably a different vibe if you're watching it versus if you're playing it. Like I'm definitely aware. I'm acutely aware of, you know, how deep this thing goes and how large the area is. But I'm not like feeling too tingly. I don't really have the tingles. But I feel that when I'm like for real up high and you look down and you go, ooh. Like if I'm on the if it's like a second, third story building in like a hospital or like any kind of situation where there's or an office building where you can like look down stairwell, like ooh, that I get the tingles, man. The hands and the tingles. I can feel my hands getting like a little like sweaty just thinking about it. It's like it makes me nervous. I'm a nervous Nelly. All right, again, that's clearly the path to go, but again, I like the forbidden zones. I like the naughty no-no zones. Oop. But look at this. Going to the naughty no-no zone brings us maybe to a shortcut. I thought I was being a naughty fella, but maybe I was just being a speedy fella. Now that might be something really cool. The dead guy, and look at that. Could that be the lure that belongs to Lorn? I'm assuming, yeah, the lure. Probably not. It's probably not the ice picks or the whatever you want to call these things. These tools that we eventually get. Somebody reach out to Lorn Michaels, see if he's lost some important equipment. I know of exactly 2 people named Lorn. The first one that a lot of us probably know of, Lorn Michaels, the famous creator and I think showrunner of Saturday Night Live. Whoop. The other one is a real throwback. There was the gentleman that I collaborated with for a pretty small length of time. Also, I keep seeing that little purple, and there's like something down there, but I don't know how to get to it. We probably would need that guy. We probably have to like climb around to it. Let's go for that next, I suppose. But yeah, there was a gentleman with whom I collaborated on YouTube. This is like going back to like, oh man, like 2014, 2015. This is a long time ago. So about 10 years, which is wild to think. He reached out to me on YouTube. He's like, hey man, back in those days I was, again, on YouTube instead of, well, Twitch was not a thing, obviously. Justin TV might have been, but Twitch certainly wasn't. And he was like, hey man, at that time I was doing like Let's Plays. Basically this, but instead of having a live chat, I would just record the gameplay, upload it to YouTube, and then respond to comments after the fact. Instead of having like a live chat, obviously. But same basic idea, obviously. Play games, commentate over it, and interact with people. In a more, in a less immediate kind of sense. And this brought me to nothing. I think if I'm being honest, I think actually, will I survive? Oh, I would have. I would have survived had it not been for that. So anyway, he reaches out to me. He's like, hey man, I see you're doing Let's Plays, that kind of thing. I've got a Let's Play channel as well, and I'm looking for people to collaborate. Got like an idea for kind of like a group collaboration Let's Play channel that has like a rotating cast of YouTubers, that kind of thing. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, this sounds pretty cool. And I checked out his channel, and he had like a lot of videos. He had like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. He uploaded multiple videos a day. I was like, this man's a fucking gamer. Holy shit. Also, we found the thing. Boop. So let's see how this goes. I'll finish the story in a minute, but just kind of do a little summary here. And I think there's like a limited amount of stamina. Yeah, so there's like the bar. Yeah, that slowly ticks down, but it's pretty generous, honestly. Boop. Oh, aim up. Yeah, I see. Hold on, let's try that again. Boop. Aim up. Whoop. There we go. So that's the key. So anyway, yeah, this guy hits me up. He's on YouTube, and like I said, this man, like, holy shit, this man had so many videos on his YouTube and uploaded so frequently. For, like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm, like, dogging on this guy, so I'm not going to say his screen name. But, and for all I know, he might have changed his screen name on YouTube. I think I looked him up a couple years ago, and I think he was still on there. He's still on YouTube. But maybe not to, like, to the same dedication, like not uploading quite as often, but still around. So anyway, he hits me up, and he has a couple of ideas for some cool games, and the idea was that, yeah, like I said, it would be a channel that ultimately he kind of owns, but there'd be a rotating cast of Let's Players and YouTubers that would like collab with him, and they would commentate over pre-recorded gameplay together and kind of riff off of it. Kind of Game Grumpsy, because Game Grumps was like really getting big at this point. Like this was around the time when Game Grumps was really popping off. So he was basically envisioning some kind of Game Grumps thing, which at the time I think was like, I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. It's something different. It's not really what I'm into. You know, Game Grumps and like that, there's like kind of that style of commentating where the focus is on like big reactions. Whoa, that was crazy. Like the whole point is, or the focus is the personalities of the people playing the game, not the biggest of focuses on like what game they're playing. Like, not a ton of people watched Game Grumps and would be like, I'm not really into this game. Usually it was like, hell yeah, I just want to see what they're doing. I just want to see what they're playing. I'm there for like the personalities. I'm there for like their interactions, the banter, because their banter was like very fun, still is, but I haven't like watched their stuff in a long time. And I think that was like that style of YouTubing and video making and commentating was like really taking off, and everybody wanted to think of the next kind of Game Grumps thing. Toggle UI. Oh gosh. No, I think I like all the things on the screen. Put down and press space to let go. So if that's kind of nice. You can look down. Boop, there we go. So anyway, so he hits me up and he's kind of got this idea, like this kind of framework of what he wants to work towards, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Something to try. And he kind of has this idea where it's like, yeah, like he had like a few kind of shorter games lined up, and he would ask that those who are participating in this collab would every so often record their own Let's Plays or their own like gameplay that we could all as a group commentate over. I was like, that sounds fair. That way it's not just putting the onus entirely on him. I think that's probably the way to go, and I don't know if I want to waste too much time like going every which way. I'll explore a little bit, but oh, well, there's a crystal, so I'll go ahead and go for that. So anyway, we talk on Skype a couple times, and it's like decent. It's decent. He's like very energetic. He's like very energetic. He's like really high energy. And I like to think of myself as being like fairly high energy, but it's like holy shit. Oh fuck. It's like, oh man, this guy is like he's energetic for sure. He's bouncing off the walls. And like very excitable, but it's like endearing. It's not like weird or like off-putting. Machine girl. So I was like, yeah, that'll be fun. So we record a couple videos together of like, you know, reacting or commentating. I would say it's more commentating over gameplay footage that he had previously recorded, and also some stuff that one of his friends had recorded. And it's just the two of us, and it's not really rotating yet. And I was like, yeah, this is fine. And we go through like several, I would say 3 or 4 instances of like recording, usually like 5 or 6 videos worth of content for like a full playthrough of a game. So like we're like commentating over a full, like fairly casual playthrough of a game, not a speed run, but just a casual playthrough of like Sonic 3, or like nothing super long. And by the way, I should mention that this person's name was Lorn. And I remember when I first heard him say the name, I had never heard the first name Lorn before. I thought he said Lauren, and I was like, it was but very clearly a dude, and I was like, that's what an interesting name for a for a dude. Like, what an odd name for a dude. But at some point he spelled it out, and I saw Lorn. I go, oh, okay. Maybe there was an E, maybe there wasn't. I'm guessing like maybe his parents were really into SNL. Anyway, at some point it occurs to me like, yeah, he'd mentioned that there was going to be other people involved in this channel, but there wasn't anybody else. It was just me. There was one instance, one time, where one of his other friends pops in for a couple of videos, but then they kind of disappeared. And then I think there was like a Portal 2. There was like a Portal 2 co-op playthrough that he did with one of his friends. But they weren't, I don't think they were involved in the commentary at all. They did the playthrough, and the video was recorded, but their commentary was never saved, or it was never recorded, so you could never hear what they were doing. And that's where the crack started to show. I found myself kind of at odds with like the style of video that he wanted, that was being made, was being recorded, and I felt like that it was clashing with the commentary style. The idea of like playing Portal 2 co-op and recording the footage but not recording like the commentary, and then commentating over 2 people trying to solve a puzzle game, not knowing like the approach of how they were trying to solve it, was like really awkward. Also, I think we're going down because that's where the purple guy was. So I'm going to try to go down to that thing. Oh, this might be a mistake. So there were just moments like that where I'd be like, man, that's an odd choice. I would just kind of find myself, not like being like, yo, I think this is a bad idea. Okay, that was a bad idea. Yeah. But just kind of thinking like, this is a weird choice. Just being like, I'm not sure I agree with like this, like the philosophy of what this is getting at. But I kind of went along with it. And I was like, you know, maybe he's got a vision. I'm not going to like rain on his parade. But at some point I started kind of like voicing. I'd be like, you know, maybe let's consider a different approach. Oh, fuck, wrong button. Maybe let's consider a different approach. Maybe let's, you know, do something different. And he was not having it. He was not the most receptive to what I like to think was reasonable constructive criticism. And I wouldn't just say I don't like it. I would be like, here's why I think it's not a great idea. But man, he would really dig in his heels. So it's like, okay, well, you know, it's your project, man. I'm just thinking that it might be a bit of a tough sell, and it's hard for me to get into it. It's like, you know, as a collaborator, it's hard to provide insightful and like and it like commentary that where your spirit is in it. You know, if I'm just not feeling it, or if I'm not vibing to it, if I'm like really having to phone it in, it's clear. For any of us that have ever attempted some kind of streaming or YouTubing or content creation in general, if you're kind of phoning it in and not feeling it, generally speaking, people can tell these things. So, but like I said, I just kind of went along with it, and there came a point where he was talking about, yeah, I recorded like a 50-part Heroes of Might and Magic 4 playthrough. And I was like, wow, 50 videos, like holy shit, or like 60, some just absurd, truly absurdly long and arduous playthrough. And I was like, yeah, man, like, what made the video so long? He's like, well, I had to grind a lot. It's like, I had to grind a lot. And I was like, well, you can edit that down, can't you? You can just cut out or fast forward, or like, you know, there's always editing tricks. There's always editing tricks you can pull to like, you know, fast forward or do like a compilation of like, you know, maybe show the funny bits. Like, you don't have to show everything, man. Like, that's not really necessary. And he was like, well, no, but I thought it'd be funny. I thought it'd be funny to, like, have us commentate over all 50 videos. And, like, we'd get so sick of it. Like, that's the joke, right? Like, that's hilarious. No one ever does that. Like, no one ever shows... Well, I think there are people that do this, but they're not YouTubers that really, you know, have much of a presence nowadays. He's like, yeah, that'd be the whole bit. The whole bit is like, man, we're like, how long is this gonna go? We're all just miserable. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like this was like a sticking point. And I was like, this is a tall ask. I was like, man, 50 or 40 or however long it was. This was years ago, but it was Heroes of Might and Magic, one of them. And I was like dreading it. I was like, fucking hell, I'm not looking forward to this. And mercifully, there kind of came a point where there was like an opening where we had finished a couple of videos, a couple of like playthroughs, and he had mentioned that he had a couple other folks that he might be able to bring in, and I kind of saw the opportunity. I was like, all right, now that he's like kind of, oh no, I want to drop down. Now there's the opportunity to like have some other folks hop in. I'm gonna like just straight up tell him it's like, yeah, I think I'm cashing my chips in. I think I'm out. And I could tell he was pretty bummed. He was like kind of disappointed that I was like breaking up with the project. But I told him it's like, it's, you know, it's not like I think it's a bad idea. It's just I find myself, oh, you can't grab onto the metal. Fuck. Like I find myself increasingly at odds, or not at odds, but just disagreeing with like the philosophy of things, like the Portal 2 thing, like trying to commentate over, yeah, you can't grab onto the metal. Trying to commentate over someone else's puzzle solving technique without hearing their thought process is just a lot. Like it was so much of it was, yeah, I don't know what he's thinking right now. it was so much of like, yeah, I wonder what they're talking about. It was arduous to say the least. So, you know, when your heart's just not into it, that's just how it goes. So it was a lesson in like, not everybody has the same ideas as far as what is content they want to make or content they want to watch. To me, the things that were Oh, couldn't quite make it. The things that seemed like a not great idea were glaringly obvious things that I don't think people would enjoy, that I know I wouldn't enjoy as a viewer. And to him, we're like, no, this is great. This is awesome. And or it's different and it breaks the mold, and like that alone makes it worth trying. So like, you know, I remember thinking like, man, I applaud this man's like enthusiasm and his optimism, but I just don't think I see it, man. This seems like a not good idea. I've seen like I shouldn't say bad, but like maybe ill-conceived efforts to overdo something, overdo like a video, just not trimming things down, not trimming the fat, and just losing people in the sauce. I've seen that, you know, come back to bite people. So other YouTubers. So anyway, I know it's a long story, but this is a good game for telling stories, because you can just kind of like explore around and get towards an ultimate goal and not overly scrutinize, you know, category, like dialogue, that kind of thing. Informal content, music, yeah. But yeah, Justin TV, Anthony, yeah, I'm with you. What's up, Woo? Yeah, we're talking about like an old, like 10 years plus collaboration that, on YouTube specifically, that was with a dude who meant well and was not a bad dude. Definitely not like a stupid dude. Like he's clearly like, you know, very bright and like, again, very enthusiastic and like committed, but just find myself disagreeing with the vibes. Here I was thinking that we were gonna get to that purple thing. I might have passed it up at some point unknowingly. Let's see how far we can push this, because we're definitely finding something here. Yeah. But I remember his... That was like... The Heroes of Might and Magic thing was like the most extreme version of that. There was a very much opposition to trimming any content down, basically. There was an opposition to being like, no, we gotta keep it all in. If we recorded it, we have to keep it, very much a purist in that sense. And I can understand in a general sense being a purist and like being like, no, man, that, you know, it's stuff that's recorded. I want to save it, and we can do something with this. Also, Crystal, way over there. Maybe that should be my... Oh, you know what? That's probably where we gotta go. I probably way overshot this. I probably got too... Talk about getting lost in the sauce. I probably got lost in my own storytelling juice. We probably have enough to make it over there, don't we? Probably. Let's go towards that, though. But like I said, it was a lesson learned in, or at least a reminder in, like, not everybody has the same, you know, values, and like what's something they want to make, what's something they want to create, and it's not so obvious to everybody necessarily. But to me, it seemed like obvious, like this is, I'm not gonna say it's a bad idea, but it's an idea I don't agree with. Like, to me, it was glaringly obvious, but to him, it was like, man, what are you talking about, Alex? This is some quality shit. I was like, all right, man. I don't know how to tell you no. I just kind of went along with it, but I think I felt myself getting bitter is like the weird part. I remember looking back, and to be honest, these videos are probably still on YouTube. Again, I won't like name any names. I won't even name the channel because I don't want to, like, you know, dig shit up on this boy. Oh, poor guy. I don't want to make it sound like I'm slinging mud like years and years and years after the fact, obviously. But I remember, like, I would go back and watch the videos, and I would hear myself get annoyed. And I didn't like that. I could, like, hear that I was, like, being kind of obstinate a little bit. And, you know, if you've watched me for any length of time, you probably know I tend to be a pretty agreeable and, like, positive dude. And I could, like, feel myself getting, like, not angry, but just kind of bitter. And just kind of, like, not quite full, what's it called when you're disagreeing just to disagree, just for the sake of it. There's a word for it. Not like pessimistic, but like there's a term for it. But I found myself like kind of leaning into that, like leaning towards it, where I was like, and I didn't like that. I didn't like what I was hearing. I was like, oh, this is bringing something out of me that I'm not antagonistic is maybe a word. There's like a word for like disagreeing, cynical. There was some cynicism for sure. Disagreeing because you like just for the act of disagreeing, almost like it's like there was some of that energy kind of coming out of me, which is not something that happens very often, obviously. So This is dangerous. You got me in like storytelling mode, man. You got me in storytelling mode, and I'm probably playing like a dumbass. I'm probably in like the butthole of a pipe system that I should not be in right now. And that is open. Hey, fuck, maybe that was the key. It just looks so scary. Resentment, heuristic. Yeah, I'll think of it. I'll think of it. But anyway, that was like one of the keys where I was like, I need to like speak up. I need to like be, and that was the other lesson learned here. Lesson learned was like to voice these kinds of things and like be willing to talk about it before it settles into resentment. And let's think about the timeline. This was probably 2014. This was around the time when I was starting to also recognize that I was feeling unfulfilled at my then employer. So there was probably other factors too, because lack of fulfillment and some resentment and like sticking around longer than I should have at my then employer. My previous employer was definitely causing some strain as well. There was like that at my previous job, just as kind of a side story here. At my previous job, even though I have a development in computer science and, you know, a background in wanting to do software development, at my previous employer, they didn't write their own software. They outsourced it to third parties. So we did like the requirements and the design and the test, well, some of the testing, and like a bunch of stuff of the software development lifecycle, but didn't actually get to write the code and like get into the nuts and bolts. And I love some nuts and bolts. I like getting into the nuts and bolts. I like getting my hands dirty. I don't like just overseeing and like being a supervisor or a manager. I want to be the one doing the damage. I don't want to oversee other people doing damage. I think that's the key, by the way. Look, it's got a little thingy. It's purple. It's weird because when I was looking down, oh, it is closed off. It is closed off, but there's still a thing. Okay, that makes me feel better. I'm not just a dumbass. There is something down there. There was also a crystal. So I need to get down to that part. It's somehow. But if I get to those pipes, you can kind of like slink down, I think. I think you can slink. I think I'll be able to be a slinky and slink down. Or I'll just slip and fall. Here, there's a crystal there. We'll say that was for reconnaissance. All right. Let's climb up. Let's climb up and see if we can kind of diddle-dally back down. But so anyway, to kind of wrap that back around then, is to say that, yeah, like there was probably like other things that were bugging me, you know, in professional and like personal situations. But it was a lesson learned in like speaking up for myself and also like grappling with like, you know, what do you want Alex, out of a situation? What do you want out of a pet project? What do you want out of a professional work-life balance situation? You know, it's like consider what you're after and like don't just go along with something because it's convenient. Oh, you can't. That makes sense. You can't just grab on. You can't just grab on when you're falling fast like that. Yeah. You can grab on after falling for a little bit, but if you're falling too fast, the picks will not dig in. So I think that we were originally cooking. I have to make this jump here. So yeah, the dangers of going along with something, because at my previous employer, I was there for like 5 years. And by the time I had realized I was unhappy, and by the time I had realized that it was like, ooh, this is, like, not only am I unhappy, but it's also, I shouldn't say dangerous, that's overly dramatic, but it was like, it's kind of harmful to my, like, future hireability in case I do, you know, in case my position gets terminated or my team gets killed off by the company, or, you know, or like I get let go for one reason or another. You know, if I find myself on the job search and I want to do some kind of software development-y thing, you know, developers or hiring managers will be like, all right, Mr. Superhob, we say you want to do software development, but you haven't had any coding experience for, like, you know, however long it had been, 5, 6, 10 years. Like, you know, why are we supposed to hire you? You haven't done shit in years. It's like, and I would be like, well, I've done some stuff. Oh, what? That's not it. That's not the pipe. It's a different pipe. Shit, I thought I was a genius. Oh, it's that pipe. Okay, we can get over that one. Thought I was a stable genius. Let's land so I can get a little bit more juice. So yeah, that was like the key where I was like, you know, I just rolling, just sticking with it and going with the flow and just kind of, you know, being grateful I have a job, like that's all fine and dandy, but also seeking something better is like a valid thing to shoot for. You know, it's like, yeah, just rolling with it and being happy with what you got, like that's great, but that was a lesson, and it's okay to seek out an improvement, or like an improved situation, and not just roll with it for the sake of convenience. One of my worst character flaws is that I'm a people pleaser, first and foremost. So it's like, what does Alex want is something that I had to, like, you know, I still sometimes have a bit of an issue with. My parents would always, I have like vivid memories of both my parents at various stages of my life being like, Alex, you can't make everyone happy. Like, you can't just try to make everybody happy. You have to, like, say no sometimes. You know, you have to, heck, you have to say no sometimes. You have to, you know, disappoint people sometimes, or like, you know, stick up for yourself in a way that is, you know, not always easy, but it's important. So that whole experience was those two experiences. Those two experiences were a case study, and like, this is why it's good to stick up for yourself. This is why it's good to, like, consider what you're gunning for, like, long term, and voice them, and like, be real with yourself about it, because if you just keep your head down and just roll with it and like just kind of force it, it will not feel good. Will not feel good after a bit. Yeah, lessons were learned for sure. Job was killing my coworkers. Maybe not killing. Not killing. Do the physics make you commit? I think you have some air control. Yeah, you have some air control for sure. Unknown entertainment device. Hollowhead. That's another game. Another indie game. Let's see. What's that? Knights of the old. it's kind of a Knights of the Old Republic, kind of, sort of. K of the something. Haley says, I'm always satisfied. I aim to please. Lost for 673 years, good lord. I'm just tapping into this power source. I like the oil to move through the structure safely. Nothing left for me. Can't cling to the power source. I've decided to see the bottom. Oh. There's some feels, man. Even though they're robots. They got me feeling a certain way. Plunk. So now, though, we can actually access this little lower part a little bit easier. Nothing over that way anymore. Shane, is here? You want to come up, Sheena? Come up. Sheena's coming up, slowly but surely. There she is. It's the Sheena cat. Hello. Hello, kitty cat. She's very happy to see me. Whoa. She's not at all like, Alex, you piece of shit. Give me attention, you motherfucker. Now that's steep. That's too steep. Oh, you can't even grab onto it either. Yeah. The thing there. Let's just reset. So after seeing all this, I was thinking that this would kind of grant me a path, but now I'm realizing that we might see if I keep going that way. Yeah, I don't really think there's much. Oh, well, and that little lip is probably not enough to stand on. We could go up. I think we're like still trying to get to this big guy here. This big guy, but I could be wrong. There was definitely stuff underneath there. There was a crystal, there's a couple things. That is a sign that there's definitely a path to get there. That's the beauty of this game, is the non-linearity. Let's climb upwards. Going up feels right. It just feels right. It feels natural. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, just to kind of just to scroll up a little bit here, because I do realize I missed a couple comments here. But yeah, like Anthony had said, you just can't like force it into yourself. Yeah, exactly. Do you think you'd try bringing him onto your style of content? I probably wouldn't. That's a cool, it's an interesting kind of question, and I've wondered that too, Alias. Like, if he were to ever reach out to me, because I think I'm still friends with him on Steam. And of course I have my my URL in the username, so it's like, you know, it's I'm not hard to find. You know, I make myself very obvious to the chagrin sometimes of others. So if he were ever to reach out to like collaborate, I would. I don't know, maybe I would try it, but I like wouldn't commit to a full on-stream thing. I'd probably do one to do like a practice run or something. As I expressed to him, you know, when I kind of broke up with the collaboration, that I was like, just not feeling it, and like it just was antithetical to what I wanted to do. So if he were to express interest in that kind of thing, it's like I'd have to make it clear to him. It's like, you know, remember the reason, you know, I kind of ducked out of the last project because I just wasn't feeling it. So, you know, your mission statement versus, you know, for that kind of collaboration to be considered, we'd want to consider what our visions are, you know, and kind of see if they were compatible. But I would not initiate it. I remember there was an instance, maybe a year or two after that original collaboration ended. We stayed, you know, like I said, friends on Steam, and I think he even like invited me to play Counter-Strike one time, just casually. And that was like cool. Just playing games casually was nice. But I remember he brought me on to like a Skype call one time. He was like, "Hey man, do you have a couple, you know, just a few minutes or something?" And I was like, "Sure, that's fine." And hopped on a Skype call with him, and you know, let's continue climbing up. Ooh, that's a pretty steep climb. Back this way. Not so sure. So I hop on a Skype call with him, because again, this is back when Skype was a thing, and he was looking for advice on, or like just kind of about some ideas for a YouTube. He was getting into like the Brento Floss kind of thing, like music parodies of like video games and like skits, and just trying to think of like witty, sort of like video gamey, yeah, vaguely like Brento Flossy, sometimes musical, sometimes not, but usually with some kind of musical kind of slant. And was just looking for like people to bounce ideas off of, and for whatever reason he thought I would be a good fit. And I remember him bouncing some ideas off of me, and at first I was like, okay, yeah, some of this is kind of cool, but like in a very small amount of time it was like, ooh, this is familiar. Like, oh, I remember this feeling of being like, ooh man, I am like not agreeing at all with this philosophy of this thing that he wants to do, or this idea for a thing. And I would explain why. I'd be like, here's why I'm not sure that I would land well, or here's where I think it might lose viewers. Here's where it's like, here's where it might be a bit much, or a bit like vague, or you know, for one reason or another, why I found myself disagreeing. And same kind of thing where it'd be like, I remember at one point pointing out like an inconsistency. I was like, wait, in one part of the video this happens, but another part this happens. Like, isn't that kind of inconsistent? Wouldn't that be like kind of jarring to the viewer? And I remember him being like, man, you sound like you're a lawyer. You sound like you're like it's like, are you a lawyer in real life? The way you like kind of hang on those details. And I remember, and I kind of laughed it off. I was like, well, you know, my dad's a retired attorney, so I guess that's something. But in my mind, I was like, I don't know if that's like an overly critical approach to life. I mean, we think of, when you call somebody being lawyer-esque, that's not usually a flattering term. And I don't think he meant for it to be mean-spirited or anything, but to me it was like, these are just like natural things to point out as far as like inconsistencies and things that I think viewers would find weird or questionable. Like, it was, to me, it was just no question. So that was where I was like, man, it's been like, by that point it had been a couple years, and I was like, man, it's still just not great. I just don't love it. Don't love this kind of energy of just extremely differing views, and this ravine that just cannot be crossed of like, you know, just agree to disagree, right? That's what it ultimately come down to. Like, and I like I said, I try to, as always, I try to, you know, keep the peace and not like be mean about it, because, you know, he was never like mean to me necessarily. There were times where like it was frustrating where he would dig in his heels and really just not budge on something. It's like I would express like, here's why I don't think it would work, and it was always like, nope, this is what we're doing. It's like, all right all right, man. Or in this case, you know, it's his project, so it's what I'm doing. So it's like, it was the criticism seemed to always fall on deaf ears. And yeah, it's like he could not be convinced otherwise, and I couldn't be convinced otherwise. So yeah, that's where you just, well, let's call the whole thing off. That's just how it is. I feel a little like a dum-dum. I was spending so much time grinding that area out. You see that purple? You think, man, there's something cool over there, but I just couldn't figure out another way out. I think we just got to go around. We got to go around, or if there was another way up to this kind of main vein, there was still that pipe that we saw earlier. But I think we got to go up in that way, because that will potentially lead to more stuff. So let's go up there. See what awaits us. The kind of thing that the video creators should be thinking about, yes. Yeah, and of course there's different styles of viewer. There's the kind that is going to be, you know, maybe a little bit more critical than others and might nitpick certain details, especially if it's based on an existing video game IP. If it's like, if there's like established lore or established rules around, say, Mega Man or Mario, you know, like the way certain bad guys behave, the way, the character takes damage from certain enemies or gets instant killed by others. Those kinds of things, there are, you know, there are, when there's like established characters and rule sets and whatnot, then yeah, that's like, some people are going to be a little bit more persnickety. All right, so here's where we first kind of landed. Let's go this way. Oh wait, that looks, unless, hold on, before I commit to that. That would just bring us back to where we were earlier, because I don't, yeah, even if I were to climb there, yeah, that's not it. That's not it. Let's go the other way then. So yeah, to Alias's point, yeah, that is absolutely something that, yeah, some viewers will very obviously point out enthusiastically, to say the least. Some might not be, but that's something you have to kind of be mindful of. Someone who can't take feedback. Yeah, it's like the nice thing though is that he was never like, he would never lash out, which is good. And I can't really think of anybody that I've, you know, dealt with firsthand that ever behaved that way, you know, lashing out at people. I think that must be the way forward, because the lights are to guide us. I think I was getting hung up on the purple thing. I saw a purple thing, I thought, yes, the purple light shall guide me. And this is where we came from. So I think that's the answer. I think these lights are what I should be focusing on. So I need to kind of get back onto that complex. We can just climb back up then. So, on the one hand, yeah, it's like considering criticism and maybe not acting on all of it, but I don't know. I mean, the other very real possibility is that he, you know, his vision was so ironclad that there just wasn't room for, you know, changes. And by that point, why bother with bringing on collaborators, right? Like, what's the point of bringing on a collaborator if there's, you know, no room or no desire to, like, you know, switch up the formula or change things around. And I think ultimately it kind of boils down to he wanted to make a Game Grumps thing. He wanted the banter, and he wanted like the camaraderie, and he wanted the like the personalities and the clashing. You know, there's like in Game Grumps, you know, there would be tension. Sometimes they would disagree. There would be arguments. Obviously they would be relatively tame, but still, like, I think that was ultimately the mission, was make a Game Grump thing. Make a grump. Make a grump, and that's the extent of what's necessary out of the collab. That's all I think in his mind, if I had to guess, it was like, that's what I need other voices for. I don't need the idea to be refined or changed around. I just need voices and personalities for the banter and the hijinks and the shenanigans. And again, I don't necessarily blame him, because, man, Game Grumps was crazy popular back then. I'm sure it still is. Assuming it's still around, I guess I don't know. But I think that was the, like, the mission statement. Was like, I want to do, well, here's the other thing, too. It wasn't that different of a spin. It wasn't that different of a Game Grumps spin, and to me, I have no interest in just copy and pasting someone else's, like, formula. It's like, you know, you gotta do your own spin. But it was, I think that's, like, ultimately where because I was not on board with that style of content, it was kind of like doomed for me to not have a good time with it. Let's see what's over this way real quick. Because the kind of content that I enjoy and that I tend to focus on myself is less focused on like big personalities. We were talking about this the other day, how like there are some people I have rated in the past who are really nice people, but like, ooh, they are a lot sometimes. Like, it's like, wow, that person was like bouncing off the wall. Like, holy shit, that's a lot. Woo! And it's like fun, but also like a little bit exhausting. I try to strike that balance, and I don't always succeed at it. But I try to strike that balance of like being a weird, goofy little idiot, but also not being like, holy shit, Alex, take it down a peg. Holy fuck. There have been times in the past where I like watch an old clip or watch an old video and I'd go like, oh, Alex, come on, that was too much. Dial it back a little bit. Because the kind of video I enjoy more is less like, whoa, I'm so zany. Whoa. It's like, oh my god, like that's not how people act. Like, come on, like it's more, to me, it's more relatable when someone is maybe a little bit goofy and weird, but not like fucking cartoon character, bro. Calm them titties. Holy shit. So it's like trying to find that balance. Trying to find the balance is the key, or at least the challenge, I guess. And it's something I don't have the answer for. Also, survive that, yeah. I don't think I have the answer to like, you know, how much is the right amount. You know, it's still something I'm refining personally, at least, and it's different for everybody. But that's just, and I'm not even saying what's correct or what isn't, just what I like. You know, what I like as a viewer, because that's ultimately what I'm always gunning for. Like, oh, okay, it's too high of a jump, too high of a fall. That's what I'm gunning for. Like, what would I watch? Would I watch this content? And that has been I like to think, a reasonably decent kind of barometer for maybe not necessarily what's good or even what other people enjoy, but at least for like what I can feel good about. Thought these were pistols. They do look like pistols. Yeah. Until you jump, they look like little pistols. Kind of reminds me of like GoldenEye, the low poly pistols, and the AK-47 that look like a pencil. Seeking validation. Yeah, there's the potential for sure that there. Oh, also there was the hints. I could have just done that. I could have said, yeah, give me the hint. Yeah, so there is that. I don't know. I wanted to explore, man. I wanted to explore, but it got me. It put me in prison. It put me in exploration prison. And just keep on schmoving that a ways. However, I kind of want to see what's up here, given that the lights are kind of guiding us. Maybe it's a problem too. Maybe I saw that purple and I got excited and I just had the tunnel vision. Put on the horse blinders and I said, oh baby. I said, sign me up. And thinking like, okay, well that's kind of leading me generally towards that little nook. So maybe that's like still Gucci in the coochie, but it led me to ruin. Led me to ruin. Yeah, Game Grumps is still very much a thing, yeah. Eternal Darkness, all sanity effects. The zero commentary. Wow, Alex, calm down. In the videos that have zero commentary. Yeah. No, and thank you, Will. That's sweet of you to say. And yeah, like I said, the whole experience is not something I like feel awful about or like cringe or like, oh, that was shitty. It was a very acute learning experience that I'm. On the one hand, it took a lot of time out of me. You know, it was not the thing that was like a quick one and done. Now this is gonna lead us back to that same zone. It's not like a quick one and done. Like I remember thinking to myself, like, man, I don't have time for my own YouTube channel. Like, holy shit, we're having to spend a lot of time on this shit. And I'd like jump online to play games with friends, and he would message me like, hey man, we need to record. It's like, oh, hell. It's felt like an obligation. You know, a bit of a drag. Keep going up. Lessons were learned. Lessons were learned, and I was a little bit sad. I felt a little bit like guilty because after I kind of, you know, broke up with the collaboration, I told him, it's like, listen, you know, you told me from the get-go you wanted to like bring other people on. I think you should. Like, it's not like a bad project. I'm just saying it's not something I'm into. And And he was like, yeah, sure. Like, he wasn't like, I could tell he was bummed. I was breaking up with her, right? Like a friend breakup, right? Like, I could tell he was bummed. But I was like, I was trying to, let him down easy, right? I was like, it's not a, like, I'm not trying to, like, shit on your idea or, shit on your dream, man. It's just not something I'm personally interested in. But like, yeah, you should find other collaborators, and, it's something I know you'd mentioned previously, so by all means, it's something I think is reasonable. And I think I, like, checked on the YouTube channel, like, 4 or 5 years ago. This is, of course, many years after the collaboration kind of went its way. And the hint is indicating that I should be going that way. So yeah, that is the key. Ooh, I could probably make it from there. That's probably the key then. But yeah, but the channel very much was dormant. The last video that was uploaded was the one where, upon finishing it, I was like, all right, man, we need to talk. I was like, I gave him the, it's not you, it's me. Yeah, it was one of those. It was very much one of those. So I think I got turned around because I saw the 2 pipes. I thought that's where we came from. I think this is where we came from. So I never thought to jump this way. I was like, nah, that's the old way. Also, will that go away after a while? Okay, good. I think if I see, there's like a catwalk? Maybe, but we can't really get to it. Let's go back. I could just descend and try to reach to the, try to kind of land on that thing safe. That's quite the drop, though. The other thing is I could maybe descend that way to the bottom right. Kind of see where that leads. Let's see. And I think even if I, like, play it real safe and descend very slowly, I think it's too steep for one thing. It's too steep to land on. That's clearly the next objective. Yeah, this guy. That thread, that vein right there is the key. So maybe we weren't completely in the wrong way of thinking. It's not you. It's not me. It's you. There you go. Yeah. Hit him with the fucking Uno reversal card. It's not me. It's you. You're fucked up. Yeah. It's weird how that happens sometimes when, like, you even if it's like a friendship, like a casual thing. I mean, obviously breakups happen with romantic situations, but yeah, breakups happen with friendships too, or collaborators, whatever you want to call these, these kinds of various situationships, if you will. Breakups do happen, and also people grow apart. People do drift apart. I have some friends from college that I have several very treasured friendships from college that I've held on to, that I, like, continue to keep in touch with, and, like, always, like, makes my soul happy whenever we get to hang out. Like, it always makes me feel great hanging out with, like, getting the gang back together, man. It's always great. And there are some friendships from way back in the day where it's nice to hang out, but it's like, I feel a little bad saying it, a little bit goes a long way sometimes. And it wasn't always that way. Like, sometimes it's like, it's not like a personal dig. It's not saying like, yo, this person's a piece of shit. It's just like, we've grown, either people have grown apart, or I'm just not into the thing that they're super into nowadays, or vice versa. And it's like, a little bit goes a long way, and it's kind of draining. It's like, oh, you get home, you're like, oh my fucking god, I'm exhausted. Holy shit. What was supposed to be like a chill night with the boys was a fucking soul-sucking experience, and it was still good. Like, it was still worthwhile. It's like, yeah, that person's a good person. They've always been good to me. It's always, like, nice hanging out with them and just seeing how they're doing. But, like, at the same time, after, like, 30 minutes, you're like, whew, I'm exhausted. And that's, over the years, I've kind of learned that's not, like, a character flaw. That's not to say that I'm a piece of shit, or that I, like, how dare you, Alex? Remember all the good times you had with this person. How dare you not be besties with them forever? Like, that happens. And that's not something to mourn necessarily. So sometimes that kind of thing happens gradually, like over time. Other times it's from the get-go you're like, oof, there's a disconnect here with this person that will not translate well. And that's just how it goes. Them's the breaks. I think I can probably latch onto that thing, honestly. That might be a key. I think there's probably more than one ways to skin a Lorn in this game. You know, there's more than one solution on places to go. Oh, the places you'll go. The Lorn, oh, the Lorns you'll lure. We could, that's feels like that's going off into the weeds. I follow this thread. Look how far this thing goes. Now, granted, I was getting into some weeds earlier. Man, oh man, we were going on some fucking tangents, man. Tangents, oh mangents. Oh me, oh mangents. So, I'll bite. I mean, for all I know, this could just be the long way home. This is the scenic route. That Supertramp song I like. Take the long way home. Kind of broke up with a friend recently. Yeah. Had some bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I understand that too. That is something I've had to tangle with, where it's like the person tells a lot of tall tales, and at first it's like, wow, this like these like stories that that we've heard all these years are like so out there, like, wow, this person must be so interesting and so wild. And then after a while, like, it's like, wait, man, this person only has exclusively like really wild stories and like amazing out of this world experiences. I wasn't sure I was gonna live that, but we did live it. And then after a while, it starts to kind of add up, where it's like some of these things might be, exaggerated slightly, or embellished, or maybe entirely fabricated, like that, it's not out of the question. That kind of grates on you after a while. There are some people from my past that I've kind of like shied away from for that reason. And that's for a lot of us, that's probably how it happens over time. Like, we don't explicitly say, like, I'm severing ties, but like there's kind of like a soft, like, just kind of a distance that gets applied. You don't check the Facebook messages as often, or, well, it's not a good example, but like, also, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I kind of figured. Yeah, like, I don't know, you just don't like initiate check-ins very often. I usually like it. I try to, if I can help it, at least reply to text messages, that kind of thing, or Facebook messages, DMs. In fact, I mean, for that matter, I've got a couple DMs I still need to respond to that I've been negligent on. But like, even like, that's not a good example, because there have been times where it's like I tell someone, it's like, I promise I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just I keep getting trying to get my ducks in a row in other regards. I've been delinquent on other social responsibilities. But yeah, just kind of like a soft kind of shying away versus anything more explicit and determined. Some people, it takes energy to be with them, yeah. And then with others, it's restorative. It's restorative to be with them. And for real, it's not even the person, like, oh, this person is exhausting. I mean, okay, maybe some people, but by and large, for most people, the kind of person that I really jive with is not gonna be everyone else's BFF forever. So a lot of the times, it really just comes down to personal taste, and just what is like a compatibility thing, what feels natural, as far as like, just the camaraderie and like the kind of humor, the personality quirks that some folks are into, others not so much. Keep thinking like, man, oh shit, oh, we lived. I keep thinking maybe I'm gonna like find something really cool out here, or like one of those crystal thingies. Ice on the wall is just like a texture, so it's not something we can actually climb onto. Let's keep at it. This is a very good meditative game. Meditative and introspective game, because it gets your mind working. It's a good storytelling game. Gets your mind working, allows you to like focus on a task, but it's not laden with lore, and it's laden with Lorn and lure, but not lore, and narrative and storytelling. So yeah, you can kind of fill in the blanks by being like, oh, I don't have to worry. I don't have to like hyper focus on character motivations. I can be the character. And I'm the motivation. Oh, is this gonna... Is this a climb to death? I thought maybe there was something on the other side of this, but now I'm questioning. I think I'm about to run out of juice. About to run out of juice. The juice is loose. Ah! Yep, that was nothing. It was nothing. Go back. I guess I'll just do this thing. Just tell me this way. Cool. Can you? All right, there we go. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I get it. You can go away now. Thank you, shiny light thingy. Yeah, I think the idea is we go down here. I think that's the key. Super negative. Ooh, that's talk about something that drains you real quick. Oh man. Ooh boy. That's a rough one, Anthony. I respect the fact that you it sounds like you hung on to this one for a while. I respect that you tried to there's the term like watering a dead plant. I respect the fact that you tried to keep watering that plant. Not a lot of people I think would have had the patience that you displayed there. So that is that's pretty remarkable, because yeah, that's oof. That's one of those where you're like, nah, I'm sure they're not a bad person. I'm sure, in all fairness, this person isn't like ontologically evil, but at the same time, whew, that's a tough one to just like casually be like, oh, it's a difference of opinions. That's where it's like, ooh, buddy, this is there's some deal. We call those some deal breakers right there. We say, yo, that's a fucking deal fucking obliterator. Whoop. Not quite. It's a deal fucking pulverizer. Yeah, right, like you turned around, yeah. I think a lot of us unfortunately have like witnessed somebody go down into that kind of rabbit hole and not really see the light of day, so to speak. Oh, I'm not supposed to. Yep, that's a bad time for bad gamers. Blip. Yeah, kind of go down into that rabbit hole, and it's like, yeah, maybe, like you were saying, it's like, oh, maybe it's just like a phase, or they're going through a rough period. They had a bad breakup, they had this, they had that. So it's like, yeah, there's still time for them to like redeem themselves, because yeah, they're not like an evil person. I remember when they were a chill dude. This, you know, they'll come out of this, it's fine, and then, oh, you run out of juice when you land that. Yeah. And like I said, after a certain point, it's like, whew, it's been long enough, bro. What the hell? Oh. Yep. Let's try climbing down this way then. I think that looks like it's steep enough. I'm a little bit worried we're gonna slide. Although if we slide, we could land on the bars. As long as we... Okay, yes, that's the good thing. I wanted to make sure we like connected. I was worried we would just glance off the side and not slide down. That makes me happier. And you know what? Thinking back, there might have been a point where we could have slid off of a previous platform, but I was worried we would just bounce off and it would be too steep. I'm gonna take a quick look. Think back this way. I think the answer is no. Yeah, you cannot. Oop, there we go. There is this bar here. I'll take a little look-see. Anything else cool here? Gonna hop in the game. Can't till days later. In less than an hour. Oh man, yeah. That's the kind of thing where it's like, it happens a couple times, you go, whatever. Shit comes up, or he's going through something, or he's just not feeling the game right now, that's fine. But yeah, it adds up though, for sure. That kind of thing adds up. It's when it becomes habitual, it starts to be grating for sure. Doesn't have a lot of other friends. Yeah, that's a tough one, but it also is tough on your sanity, obviously. I mean, Anthony, I'm sure these are things you probably wrestled with for a while, and you probably came to the same conclusion we all do when faced with something at least somewhat similar, where we go like, man, it's not worth the sanity drain, you know, the mental drain. Gotta look out for yourself, after all. You know, it's like, you know, you don't like owe, you know, that kind of like infinite patience to somebody. You know, everybody has their limit. Much like how our protagonist here, he had a limit to how much stamina he could build up, his endurance for holding on to a clingable wall. He too had a limit and fell right through it. Doesn't point fingers. Yeah, it's like you want to help him through it. You want to like you want to have the, you know, the positive end to the story, so to speak. And maybe not story, but like, you know, you want to see them turn around. Everyone loves a redemption arc, right? But yeah, but also, yeah, we can't, you know, be everyone's savior. Like none of us can. And not any one of us can save the day all 100% of the time. As much as we might want to, it is an unfortunate reality. Oh, bad jump. Yep. I should have done one of these. I need to remember these slides are not scary. Other like platforming games have taught me to like fear that kind of steep slide, because I think I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna bounce and not land and like grind on it, you know, this kind of thing, because that does kind of reset how much fall damage you're gonna take. Oh, there's nothing down here. I thought there was a pipe. The pipe over there. Okay, that's too far away though. It's too far away. Maybe on the other side is a pipe then. Drinking problem. Ooh boy, yeah. Substance abuse. Fucking brutal. Yeah, you want to help them, but they don't let you, and they're trying to, yeah, they're like inadvertently dragging you down with them. Oh man, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. That's awful. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Alias. That sounds very, very unpleasant for you and for, I'm sure, everyone else in that situation. Had to figure their own shit out. Yeah, that is, yeah, after a certain point, it's like I can't help the situation, and by persisting, I'm making it worse for myself. I'm not helping anybody, and I'm making myself worse. It's like, this is not for me. Not for me, and not for anybody else in this situation. Yeah, it didn't let him drag me down. Yeah, it's frustrating though, especially because it sounds like you probably put quite a bit of time and energy into this friendship. So for it to fizzle out and, you know, kind of fall away, I think a lot of us sometimes get stuck into that sunken cost fallacy, where it's like, man, I've like put a lot of energy into this friendship or into this business situation, you know, this workplace, relationship, whatever. It's like I put a lot of time into it, and I'm like too invested now. If I pull out, then all the time I've invested was for nothing. And of course, the reality is that it wasn't for nothing. I mean, yeah, you know, the friendship or the workplace situation or the professional collaboration has ended, but you learned lessons. There was life experience and wisdom you gained along the way, so it wasn't nothing. It wasn't empty-handed, but still, it's in our mind where it's like, I want to see it through, or I want to see it turn. I want to turn the ship around. I want to improve it. I don't want to give up, right? Like, you know, sometimes we sink our teeth in. Yeah, exactly. One-legged duck. It's like, bro, just be honest. Like, it's fine. Just say it's like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Gotta help themselves, right? Either help themselves or be willing to accept help from others, and not be like weird about it, not like what Alias was saying, like, you know, dragging other people down with them. And of course, the other component, especially like Alias was saying, with substance abuse or mental health, depression, anxiety, all these things where it's like, you know, it's not even the person necessarily that's doing all this. It's like the thing they're suffering from, the illness that they're wrestling with. That's the villain in all this. So it's like, that's what's frustrating too. It's like, man, I can't even be mad at the person necessarily. I mean, you can feel, obviously, you know, feel anxious or frustrated, or, you know, having limited patience, obviously, but like, you know, the ultimate villain here is not like the individual. It's the, you know, this physical and or mental thing that's taken hold of him and won't let go. So it's like, it's unsatisfying, right? It's unsatisfying to be like, yeah, that dude's a prick, where it's like, no, he's a good dude. He or she is a good dude, but there's this thing that's going on that I've tried already, and there's just no further that I can do with it. Any attempt to involve myself more is a detriment, and I can't help anybody if I'm getting dragged down. Like, you know, you can't help anybody else if you're putting yourself out, you know, overexposing yourself on that kind of negativity, on the toxic shit. Nobody has just infinite juice. Nobody just has infinite durability. That absolutely wears on us. A little bit. There's no way I can latch onto that. The metal I can't latch onto. A little bit nervous. I might have wrecked myself. We'll try it. Whoop. I'm like leaning. Not quite. Not quite. But it did reset us. So even if that was incorrect, we can just. Oh, too much. Too much. Yeah, it still hurts though. Was the best bud, man. That's awful. You know what? Come to think of it, Alias, I feel like I saw you post something about that on your Discord server. Saying like, yeah, man, had like a crappy time, having a hard time with a good old friend, and it's like, I remember you saying like, I don't want to like, you know, get too much into it, but like I remember you saying like, yeah, this was like, had a rough time, and I'm just fucking trying to bounce off, and it sucks. That shit is rough. Had some really bad dice rolls, yeah. Blamed on the world, sure. And I mean, you know, let's be real. Who can blame somebody for not coming out of something like that unscathed? Who can blame somebody for not taking some damage? You know, taking some hits like that and not being fully dignified in how they you know, how they download it, you know, how they deal with it. Lord knows there have been times in my life where I look back on something and I go, ooh, I did not handle that well. Holy shit. Where it's like, man, I did not. Looking back, it's like, wish I would have handled that well. Better yet, it's like, oof. That was not my finest moment. But of course, 99 times out of 100 is because I was a teenager, you know, a kid who still trying to find himself, still trying to like figure shit out, or even a college student, you know, like an adult technically, but like 19, you know, practically a infant child in the eyes of the world. I seen a girl. So like I use that as a cushion, but still, you know, it's sometimes, you know, you think back on those things, you go, ooh, that was a little rough. So like, you know, who could blame that guy for having some bad shit happen? And yeah, maybe it not going so elegant, but like Alias was saying, it's like after a certain point, there needs to be some growth and some construction, and not have it all just be like, you know, an angy fest. You know, it's like or bitterness and resentment, because that shit'll fucking rot your soul, man. Yeah, the sunken cost fallacy for sure. 14. Oh, you know what, Anthony? I think I remember you mentioning that at one point. Like, and that was because it was not too long ago, wasn't it, Anthony? I remember you saying like it was like something that was. I'm not trying to like hit your thoughts with a crowbar, trying to crack them open, but like it sounds kind of familiar. Got 100k views, dude. That is some good shit. Hit us with the link. Yo, I'm gonna hit them with the linky dinky. Hold on, before I look at the video, is it? There was a video of yours I saw that was like, oh man, I gotta circle back and watch it. Is it the? Which one is it? It's like, don't look. Was it the one where it was? The one where you were coaching one of your friends playing Noita? That was really cool. Let's see. Let's see. It is Evolving a Star. Oh, it's it's this other game. It's this other game. Yeah. That has like that like skyrocketed. Yeah, here we go. That's awesome. So I'll show it all. For all see in all of its splendor. Bloop. Check that shit. So 100k views. Bam. Yeah, this guy. It's that one game you've been playing. Yeah, 1k views over like 28 days, so less than a month actually. Amazing. Freaking amazing. Love to see it. Titanic-sized dub. But, well, okay, the word Titanic is kind of a loaded term. Not Titanic, not like the sad ship, but like Titan-sized. There we go. Titan-sized dub. Enormous. And that's what we love to see. That's a good, like, we're balancing out the, like, the bummers. We're balancing out the bummers with the dubbers. Yeah, people come out for better, for worse, yeah. And for some of us, we come out of it for worse, but temporarily. Like, it's a temporary for worse, and then we get our shit together. That's hopefully the best worst case scenario. Years ago now, yeah. I guess it sounds vaguely familiar. That it was something that was a pretty personal one, for sure. Can't have them peaks without the valleys. I mean, that is how these things go. That is how it goes. And Alias in particular, I remember you were saying, like, man, YouTube's fucking wild. Trying to hit that moving target of appeasing the algorithm and having the right kind of title, right kind of thumbnail, the right kind of consistency and upload schedule and upload times, and like rhythm, kind of like upload rhythm and commentary style, and like there's so many variables. And the algorithm is a moving target that's always shifting, obviously. And you know, it's obviously it's much less. Well, there's some organicness, obviously. You know, there's subscribers, there's people that hit the bell, that kind of thing. Smash that like, smash that bell, smash the sub button. But yeah, there's like that algorithmic aspect that makes it's a shot in the dark sometimes, I'm sure. But after you do it for a while, like I'm sure Alias has like kind of found things that work more reliably. I'm assuming I can't latch onto these. This doesn't seem like something I can hook into. Like you start to kind of, well, I don't say this from first-hand experience, but I've observed from others that yeah, if you kind of deal with the system long enough, you kind of like work within it and see what works, experiment, find what does, find what doesn't. As long as you have like, you know, the patience and the wherewithal and the time and the like and the energy and like the grit, you know, that's the real juice right there, the grit to like fucking see it through and not feel disappointed or not feel discouraged and just keep on, not grinding necessarily, but like keep refining, you know, keep trying to make it do better, like continue chasing that dragon. That yeah, it's like it's possible. Like anybody could potentially make it work, but it's a tough and very different beast. Yeah, Primordialis, yeah, that's the game, which is the game that Callie is making, right? Callie Reeses. So I know Bonfire was playing it. I don't think he was speedrunning it, but he speedruns everything. But I know he was playing it the other day, and it was awesome. It was awesome getting to watch him play it for a bit. I'm trying not to watch too much because I want to play it. It looks really cool. There's like a little lip down there we can reach. I'm grateful for this zoom function, so I'm not having to guess quite as much. There is a little kind of slope to land on there. I feel like we're cooking. I think we've got an idea here. There's a ledge we can land on there, but oh, actually, well, we can land there. But where does that lead us? Let's go look. Let's go give it a little look-see. Looky. Yeah, Primordialis, yeah. The only one posting for it. Maybe one of the big tuber would jump on it. I mean, you found a very untapped market then. There's like an interest in this kind of game, and a decent number of people have streamed it. And a decent number of people have like talked about the game, but yeah, probably not a lot of stuff on YouTube for it. So it's like that's like an untapped market, and that's like awesome. I'm not gonna call it a golden goose necessarily, but it's like that's something that can really bring in some new people, some people that wouldn't have found your stuff otherwise. So it's like that's something to very much embrace. It's a pretty lame superpower, but it's awesome. It's so good. I'm reminded of Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 had that as a function, and thank goodness. Because even though you couldn't like zoom in and then shoot accurately with it, just being, well, obviously you could with like the crossbow, obviously, but just being able to kind of zoom in and like see stuff further away, especially with the like really large vistas it would give you in that game. And the episodes afterwards. There's like enormous vistas where you were kind of encouraged to kind of take a breath, you know, kind of like breathe in the air a little bit and like catch your bearings. It really helped to kind of make the world feel more, kind of like brought the scale more to the forefront, which was always like really satisfying. I remember like in Half-Life 2, the first time you see the Citadel fairly close and you like look up, there's like the machinery that's like moving up, moving down, there's plumes of dust, there's birds getting like dislocated, you know, they're like getting disturbed and fluttering away when there's like a big noise. Being able to like really zoom in and see that detail was like, oh, this is cool shit. Like really being able to appreciate the details. We're still trying to get to this thing, and a certain kitty cat has put cat hairs in my mouth. How nice of her. Man, maybe I shouldn't have jumped down. Maybe that was a not good idea. I thought I was a stable genius. Let's jump back up. Actually, if nothing else, yeah, maybe the whole point is to jump back up, like back to this main vein. There's like, yeah, 5 of the videos, yeah. That's like something that I try to be open to, is to watch for situations where there is a game that like maybe it's not about to blow up necessarily, but it will like there will be a niche for it. Like there will be some, like this is gonna be someone's thing. Like somebody will be into it, or at least a non-zero sized audience will be into this. Like knowing how to watch for that kind of thing and responding accordingly. I've been here, and I know if I press this button, they're gonna say, it's over there. Get to that thing, you dingus. That's something I try to be mindful of. Whoa, you know, getting in. Oh, you can just land on this. Oh, well, don't I feel silly? You're probably not supposed to, though. Whoop. Land on this thing. Oh, and I can just walk up to this guy, and now he's schmoovin'. That didn't feel very natural. That felt a bit scummy, but I'll, suppose we'll roll with it for now. It's progress. But yeah, the idea of maybe not necessarily an untapped market, but like here's a thing that is about to maybe not even blow up, but this is gonna be like, this is gonna draw some folks, and if I can get on the ground floor and be with them to ride that wave and like kind of be at the forefront of a community, it's like an exciting feeling. As I imagine that's how it was with Alias and other like premier Noita content creators, is the idea of like, man, this game is cool and there's so much possibility. It's like this wild and exciting new game with all these cool possibilities and all these ways to play the game. Catching it early and recognizing its potential and like establishing oneself as like a big figurehead in the game's community makes a billion sense in all the world. Like it makes so much sense as like oh, there's a cool thing over here. I'm gonna fall and die. It'd probably just not go as high. Because you know, those of us that watch Noita streamers, a lot of us know about Dunk, and you know, he's told the story before of like, yeah, he was playing Pokemon Red and Blue, just like doing Nuzlocke challenges just for funsies, while he was in between jobs, doing like a job hunt. And as he was looking up, sending his resume to places and doing interviews, as he was like in between doing these things, he would just kind of pop over and play video games on Twitch just for funsies. And yeah, one day one of his friends was like, hey, this is a cool game called Noita. He hops on just for funsies, and has not really streamed anything else since. Like he jumped in right at the get-go and did a great job of not only establishing himself, but also like as like an early adopter, but also having, I think, like a really cool way to encourage his audience to interact with his channel with like the Dunkbot interactions. I think that was like, that's really clever and really like really engaging for the audience. So it's kind of a cool two-pronged attack of having something truly unique that he brings to the table, and also getting in with a very, very cool and like about to thrive community, like in its kind of infant stages. I think it's remarkable. I think it's really freaking sweet. 6 months late. I mean, still though, that's in the grand scheme of things pretty early. I didn't really play the game until the 1.0 release. That was when I jumped on it, which was probably about a year. I was probably about a year late, because the game had been in early access for quite some time. Little fella is there, but I'm not so sure. I feel like I need to get back on that wall. Not sure I'm a big fan of these, like, big pipey boys. I'm gonna jump back on this thing. Whoop. 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 Well, hold on. Maybe I can... Can I latch on? Whoa. Trying to grab the ledge. There's gonna be some scum. Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised that some scummy routes are going to be part of the game, part of the experience. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're back on this platform. That's what I wanted to get back to. Oh, I can just jump. I can just climb up to that guy, can't I? Yeah. Yeah, that was the big surge for sure. Yeah. Ooh. We can make that jump. I can make that jump. I can break these cuffs. I can break these cuffs. Oh, I can't break these cuffs. Oh, I can't break those cuffs. Oh, I can't break those cuffs. Okay. Whoop. Nailed it. Up. I don't think I can make that jump, and also I can't help but notice the fella, the thingy, the forbidden nugget of knowledge. Can't latch onto this guy, even though it's kind of corrugated. It almost looks like you could latch onto one of these links, but no avail. If nothing else, oh, you know what? Maybe we could slide? Ooh. We're not sliding. We're just dying. Something else we could drop onto. Can I make that jump? There's no way. Ain't no way. Oh, yeah, not quite, not quite. As that's something I would like to get to. If it were not an illegal gamer move. But I think that's crimes. I think that's committing a class W felony. Yeah, jump and hold. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I think the thing I was trying to slide against, this thing, I think this is too steep to be a slide. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah, yeah. The way we're well, you like kind of bounce for a moment. Here, let's try that one more time. You kind of bounce for like just a brief moment. Like bonk. Yeah. So I don't know. There's that little bump makes me nervous. Bonk. Oh, jump. Yeah. I don't know. That feels unnatural. We could always seek our business elsewhere. For instance, I'm very smart. This is gonna kill me. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the faster, exactly. That's the concern. Anything else we can consider this way? Really, I wonder if I could latch onto that wall from here. Still a bit of a tall order. Us hobbits, we don't do well with tall orders. I'm more of a short order kind of guy. I like those short, maybe medium if I'm stretching it. It's a lot of ways down. Yeah. It's interesting the way the game autosaves. It's like if I die here, yeah, I'm holding back. Oh yeah, I never got a single. Never got a single like little bump. Oh, there we go. That felt very like malformed, but it did get us here. And again, there's probably lots of ways to get from point A to point B. So the path that I've kind of stumbled upon might be a scummy bing bong path that is for goobers, goofy goobers, aka goofy gamers. Still counts. And bloop. Had just enough juice, just enough endurance. See you, little Flappy Bird corruption fella. I was secretly hoping to get that little crystal fellow was up there. I think you probably had to get it on the way down, though, as opposed to climbing up towards it. That was going to be a tall order. Methinks. Go ahead and land on this guy. Oh, I probably can't climb. Oh, but I could land on this guy. Yes. I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled for the little simulation crystal fellas. But I'm also not trying to let perfection get in the way of progress. Get a nice little angle for this one. We can do that. Up a bit, actually. Whoop. Boom. I'm waiting for us to land on one of these rickety ass pipes or platforms, and we're like a metal robot fella. So like I'm waiting for just the heft of our landing to just cause the thing to just collapse. And we have to like react real smart. Be real smart and real fast. My curiosity knows no bounds. I need to know if there's anything cool over here, but I'm not suspecting there is. This game is doing a good job of letting me go off the rails and explore, but not always rewarding it. In fact, it seems like very rarely do you stumble upon a crystal by accident. Usually you see it from a distance and you go, I want that. I want to get to that thing. And I don't want to like stumble upon it by accident. It's like you work towards it. Versus, oh, I jumped on the one platform that was impossible to see except for going for 10 minutes off of a buttfuck nowhere path that led to empty promises. Oh no, not empty promises. Led to like something cool. I do enjoy me a good exploring for funsies kind of experience in games like this, but also like it is kind of a relief knowing that, yeah, if I see a path that probably leads to nothing, it seems like the game is encouraging me to consider it probably leads to nothing. If there's something cool, there's probably like an indication that there's something cool. Because yeah, with a lot of other games, you see a nondescript path that probably is nothing. Well, it could be a fun shiny. It could be something cool, and you don't know until you spend 5-10 minutes going down that path just for that outcome to end in disappointment. Getting closer to the bird fella. Also something glowy. I haven't tried to do the analysis thing in a minute. Yeah, we're too far away. Yeah. Yeah, just the act of navigating it is fun. And how it gives you like this down here, like what the hell could this possibly be? Navigating it in and of itself is interesting, and sometimes it gives you like a little sneak peek or a preview of like a part of the level that you're about to find or that you already passed, where it's like, oh shit, there was another way I could have considered, or there's another way I will need to consider ultimately. For instance, I think I'm dead. I think this is a piece. Yep. Piece the fuck out on that one. Yeah, just like the art of exploring, the joy of getting to experience it, getting to see it. Maybe not for a tangible reward, but for a philosophical one. Speaking of which, do I get to hang out with our bird buddy? Ooh, too steep. Too steep. Go over here. Big exhaust that I guess I can go into. See if there's anything I can analyze, but nothing. Big old satellite dishes. They're strangely slippery. I thought our guy would be able to like analyze like what I guess is like some kind of, I don't know, mushroom? Some kind of biomechanical life form, some kind of like growth. Some MC Escher shit right there. Or not MC Escher, HR Giger. HR Giger shit right there. MC Escher probably would appreciate just the like the depth and like scale of this place, but would be disappointed by like, you know, the stairs are too normal. The paths are too sensible. There's not enough like fuckery and tomfoolery about. There's not enough like impossible paths that cannot exist. E. I'm guessing that was a normal thing. Oh, I was doing good until I fell over. That was like a normal thing. And not like a bonus thing. You know what? I'll bite. Anything down here? Anything cool? The answer might surprise me. Ooh, it's not looking... It looks to be an end that is not alive. An end, we call that a dead end. An end that is no longer living. Which is fine. Just climb this back up. For one thing, I mean, this was very much intentional. This is not a, oh, let's put the switch here for funsies. Like, this does something. Yeah, the angles are too Euclidean. There are too many possible angles. There's not enough illegal mathematical gamer moves. And also, in all fairness, I invoked HR Giger. Escher would be disappointed by like everything making too much sense, like we know with the angles present and all that jazz. And then HR Giga would be upset because there's not enough biomechanical penises. In fact, I hate to say it, we've seen less than a dozen biomechanical penises really in the entirety of tonight's stream. I'm not gonna say we've seen zero because those tentacle fellas in Labyrinthine were, you know, there was some implications, we'll just say. Not explicitly, but certainly implicitly. This is clear now. But, oh, big, oh, I thought it was a cross. I was like, oh, that's ominous. No, that's a spinny boy. Yeah, exactly. Not enough, like, not even dicks, but just, like, weird, like, robot android cyborg dicks that are, like, attached to machinery that are, well, you know. We've all seen Alien. Come on. just vaguely like, wow, that's... that guy just, like, slapped, you just fucking stapled some dicks to that thing, huh? You just fucking roll with it, huh? And good for him. You know, I'm glad he embraces it, but it's like, wow, that's a whole ass array of penises just going inside that thing that is strangely shaped like a woman's mouth, huh? That's all right, man. You do you, MC Escher. Or fuck, HR Giger. Why am I... Letter, last name apparently is too much for me. Can't keep these things straight. And that's what makes HR Giger so compelling, man. Stuff is so like fucking wild and weird as hell, but it's I mean, considering like, I mean, I guess by now he's had enough imitators where it's, I shouldn't say imitators, but people inspired by him that it's not quite as wild as it was back in the good old days. But yeah, like, imagine when he first hit the scene, that shit was truly something unique. Ooh, wait, still landed. Oh, and then fell. Ah. Land here. There we go, we're good. I see a shiny. What the shiny? Saw Alien for the first time 3 nights ago. That's super recent. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love that movie. And in all fairness, I only watched it for the first time ever I want to say like 5 months ago. Oh, excuse me. Whew. Like maybe 5 months ago. Pretty recent. So it's pretty recent in my book. Loved it though. And of course, you know, the design for the xenomorph, man, we talked about it before. It's like, man, great. Oh, you can surf. It's cool. Oh wait, hold on, that's not it. Yep, that's not it. Fuck, I fucked it. Oh, together, W plus A. Hold on. Oh, I see what they mean. Okay. I see what they mean. Yeah, just kind of do one of these. Yeah. Not surf like the Counter-Strike surf, but yeah, just kind of glide along the wall. Yeah, the xenomorph design. It's great because, like, especially with the subsequent kind of refinings of the design and the different kinds of xenomorphs, the warriors and the obviously the queens, and like there's like the words too, like the higher order warriors and the sprinty boys, like the fast boys, the runners or whatever they're called, like all the different flavors of the xenomorphs, and like how it's like, wow, there are the eggs, huh? They hatch into little facehuggers. They just impregnate people's faces, don't they? Like that is like the xenomorph is a terrifying concept, but it's also like vaguely sexual, and it's like this is weird, but it's like also like weirdly familiar to us. And like you see the designs of the later xenomorphs with like the weirdly accentuated hips. It's like I'm 99% scared, but 1% horny. This is making me feel things I don't feel uncomfortable about. Very strange. And like the whole idea, I guess in like the video games, you know, we played through Alien Dark Descent. There was like the cults all up in Alien Dark Descent. And I guess I'll say mild spoilers about Alien Dark Descent. It's implied pretty heavily in the intro, but so I'll just say mild spoilers for Alien Dark Descent. I'll stop waving my hands when I'm done talking about it. Or I will wave my hands when I'm done talking about it if you want to mute the stream. But in Alien Dark Descent, there's the cult that worships the xenomorphs as like higher order beings, because it's like, oh shit, yeah, when they are born from somebody, they're like, they inherit their DNA, so it's like they're being reborn. So like they want to get got by a xenomorph, they want to get impregnated and be reborn. So like there's like this godlike, like angelic I don't know, like a higher order ascension that they see the xenomorphs, like this cult. And it's like, yeah, it's weird, but at the same time it's like it's like it's not completely unfounded necessarily. This idea of like, well, yeah, it's like if they're like this ultimate killable killing life form, it's not surprising that there are people that like get it twisted in their head and they go, oh, I want that. Like, no, you don't want that. He will eat your face. I don't know. Some people want to get their face eaten, but some people aren't too. Also, there was a crystal I was kind of building towards, but I realized I got lost in the sauce, but I can't really climb back up because that slope is too tight. Venting the ship would have been a good idea. Yeah, you're not wrong. Xenomorph left the kitty alone because the xenomorph understood the ultimate killable life, or not killable, but like ultimate predator life form. No, we all know cats are very good at killing shit, and will do so indiscriminately for nothing other than their own entertainment. So it was not out of mercy, it was out of fear. Prometheus Covenant, yeah. Meerkat says you're only 1% horny. If you're only 1% horny, you're doing it wrong. It's a trip. It's a trip for sure. But the way it kind of like gets into our brains, like the way it like tickles things that are like vaguely familiar. So it's like there's something familiar for us to latch onto, but then it's like so fucking, well, alien, if you will. It's like it's hard to kind of like bounce off of. It's like it's just so striking. Oh, too much. So this little platform, and I got excited. Oh, you can't climb on that one because it's not flat. It's not flat. And we got Big Bite. That's probably Joe, right? Good to see you, bud. How are you enjoying the game day? To be honest, I actually am going to be wrapping up probably in a little bit. It's getting pretty late, and my original plan was to do 8 hours. And we're coming in pretty hot on 9 hours, which is pretty darn good. Also, tonight is daylight savings. So, you know, there's the temptation to go extra long, but it's like, maybe I shouldn't overdo it. The plan for tonight is to do 8, 9-ish hours. And just kind of have it be that. And then... Ooh, that's too far, yeah. Go for like 8, 9 hours, and then like in 3 weeks, do another 8 or 9 hours. And then 3 weeks in there, do yet another 8, 9. So the kind of the plan... Whoop. Still can't grab on that thing. Is to do 24 hours, but over the course of maybe 3 sessions. Kind of just distribute it a little bit more evenly. I'm wondering if I should try to get back up. Maybe I've made a big no-no for myself. Blade Runner and Alien. I'd heard about that. Yeah, I'd heard about that. Yeah, Weyland Yutani exists in Blade Runner. Which is wild to me. Oh, one sec. Our dog was like biting on like a nothing like super bad, but she was like biting on a on a tag, like a tag on just a rug, not a rug, but like a. Oh yes, hello Bon Bon. There's the dog. There she is. Here we can have a Bonnie break. You can all see the doggy. I need attentions. He says I need attentions because she's a good girl, even though she was chewing on something that she shouldn't have. But yeah, like the tag on like a little bathroom rug, like a little bathroom square. Little floor mat, that's the word, a little floor mat. Get some fuzz on you. You got some fuzz on your nose. How'd that fuzz get there? Look at this dog. Look at this dog. Gotta see Blade Runner. Yeah, I've never seen it either. That's one where whenever I mention that I've not seen it in movie-going circles, it's like a blemish. A mark of shame, like, oh, you've never seen Blade Runner, Alex. Like, I have to say kind of meekly, like, yeah, I've never watched it. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I have to be apologetic about it. Don't have to, but I feel the urge to. Still can't make that jump. We're awfully close, but I fear I've made a silly. Whoop. Yeah, I keep trying to jump on that thing. Whoop. Yeah, that's too much. Too much juice. I can't just climb back up. Dang. Might have done a big old goof. Keep looking for like a thing to climb onto, yeah. I wonder if have I done a bad? Or if I've put myself... They wouldn't let you just put yourself in an unwinnable situation, would they? Be like, oh god, what can I do about this? Yeah, the remake / sequel, yeah. Go for the OG for sure. And then it's like question of like which cut do you go for? There's the, the theatrical cut, the final cut, I think is what one of them is called. Like there's a bunch of different edits of the film. Same with Alien for that matter. There's different cuts that include bonus content, some of which is good and is considered worthwhile and good, and others kind of detract a little bit from certain details. Can I like reset again? Can restart. Oh, that's a full restart. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. Here, what if I quit out? Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Just go for the corner jump. Yeah, I was like, man, I'm like, I've put myself in a bad situation. Alt F4. Boop. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we have to restart. Because this is a game that is, like, it's so contemplative and so, like, chill. I'm not at all bothered to, like, start again. I remember, it's probably my fault. I didn't realize that was, like, wipe the save. I thought that was a like, restart the chapter, or restart, like, yeah, like this kind of thing, chapter select. Okay, so it has saved some things. Simulation play, yeah. Oh, right, this is the intro. I was like, what's this clear sky? What the hell? It takes me a second to be like, oh, there's green. There's green things. We don't know what this color is. So we'll go and skip this. Okay, but they just still have you do the tolerance. So it did save some things though. So yeah, it didn't wipe the save. It just restarted you back at the top. So yeah, it's still. Hey, that's a nitpick. I wish I could mouse control. So it did save like some of the stuff we'd found, the lore and the pickups. I'm not sure what the heart is. Yeah, the wall was the last we'd found. About 30 minutes, but can be about 3 hours, right? But yeah, that's exactly it. It's not like a major setback. They wouldn't allow you to just like clear your progress that easily if it wasn't kind of intended to be just a thing that can be done and then quickly continued easily. He was just chilling. Yeah, it's green, it's sunny. I mean, I guess that's the only time in this game you ever see anything green and or sunny in this game. And blue skies, and now it's just grays and brown and purple, and well, the purple's kind of cool, but like dark and broody and like, I don't know, industrial, right? It's just all sage. Now that's okay. I was just saying earlier that like I was looking for an out to wrap it up for the night. There's those that worked on this cool little game. This is a game I definitely want to come back to. For sure, I want to come back to because I enjoyed the demo. I'm enjoying the full game. It's so good for just like contemplation and telling stories and just chatting and just vibing. It's really nice. And it's a thing to work on. You know, it's a game you're it's not just mindless. You're working towards something, but it's like open-ended enough your brain can wander, which is really fun. You know, I like this a lot. Something I'll definitely come back to in the future.